Today, this is going to be a very different video. It's actually going to be an interview, which I've never done on this channel in like the 11 years I've done YouTube. And I'm really excited. It was just an off-the-cuff situation where I reached out and I was able to have an interview with Vic Mignogna. You may know him in Fullmetal Alchemist or in Dragon Ball. He does the voice of Broly. He also does a fan project, Star Trek Continues, which is on YouTube, and it's great. So Patricia Holly and I actually had a Zoom call with him, and we just asked him a couple questions, and we're just kind of having a nice little conversation. So I hope you guys enjoy our interview with Vic Mignogna. Thanks. Hello.
Hello there.
Hey, can you hear us okay?
I sure can. How are you guys?
Doing really well. Thank you so much for doing this. Wow, look at your room.
Oh, this is this is my little recording studio room. So that's just back where you sit, and then all the goodies are over here.
I love that. I have a question about your setup.
Ask me anything. Let's do this.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Can I start?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Go for it.
Okay, I'm so excited. So Vic, the very first anime I ever watched, I watched it on accident because it was like 2 a.m. and I flipped on Adult Swim, and there was this awesome anime called Fullmetal Alchemist, and I'd never heard of it. Yes, I'm sure you're
I have heard a little bit about it. I've never seen it, but I've heard it.
Oh no, then it's going to be hard to answer this question.
No, I'm just kidding.
So, my question is, Fullmetal Alchemist, do you prefer Fullmetal Alchemist or Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood?
I knew that one was coming sooner or later.
I'm sure it's one that everybody asks you.
Yeah. You know what, Trish? Most people that I talk to, most of the fans that have ever asked that question, most of them like Brotherhood best. However, even though I think Brotherhood was amazing, what I loved about Brotherhood was that it actually had an ending.
Yes.
As opposed to the first one that just kind of stopped. But I have a very, very special place in my heart for the original. I had probably done 50 or 60 anime series by the time I got cast in Fullmetal Alchemist, and I had never been a part of any show that grabbed me as much as the original Fullmetal did. So even when there was another one coming, and I was so excited about that, it's like your first love, you know. You never really let go of that love for that original. So for me, I'd probably say that the original was the closest to my heart.
Okay, I get that. It was my first too, so.
Exactly, you get it.
I do. Actually, that's a great segue into my next question, which is, when the series ended in 2006, did you know Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood was coming, or was that something?
No.
Oh, you didn't?
Oh
Okay.
my goodness, no. In fact, you know what, you guys? I was so sad when that show ended, when the first one ended, because I thought, what the heck? Like, we don't even know what's going to happen to these people. And wait, he's not with his brother. And what about Winry? And like, I was kind of bummed out. But there was not a clue or a hint at all that there would ever be any more. So when we heard that they were making another one, my initial response was that I was really excited, as you can imagine. But then very close after that followed a feeling of, what if it's not good? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
we've all had plenty of experiences with sequels not being anywhere near as good as the originals.
It's true.
And I was really worried. I was like, the first one was perfect in so many ways. The story and the characters and the music and the animation and everything about it seemed to be perfect to me. So when I heard they were making another one, I was like, that's so great. Oh, wait a minute. What if it's bad? So we didn't know until I don't even know, a year or two later, that there was going to be another.
It's
Wow.
weird to even think oh my gosh, what if it's bad because it was so well received? Like you said, most fans
Right.
are like, yes, Brotherhood, you have to watch Brotherhood. So that's
Yeah, and you
funny.
know what, Trish? One of the reasons why I was encouraged that it was going to be good even before we saw it was because I heard through the grapevine that it followed the manga. And even though I was worried about it from the very beginning, even of the original series, I would go to conventions and would be signing autographs, and fans would be like, I really love your work in Fullmetal Alchemist. Have you read the manga? They always asked me that. And I would be like, no, is it good? And they're like,
Vic,
oh, the manga is amazing. So when I heard that Brotherhood was going to follow the manga, I did breathe a little sigh of relief because I thought, well, maybe that's a good sign.
Well, that's awesome. Another character I know you probably are expecting us to bring up, which is the character that is dear to me, from Dragon Ball, Broly.
Yeah,
Another
yeah.
one that I think some people have heard of, especially recently. That's kind of my entryway to hearing your voice. And the original Broly movie was kind of like the sleepover movie. Every time I had a sleepover at my house or a friend had a sleepover at their house, we'd rent that movie from Blockbuster and we'd watch it. And so I have really fond memories of that. My question for you when it pertains to Broly is, that was back in like 2003, and you did 2 other movies after that. And then now you've just recently done the
Wow.
Super. I know, it's crazy. And you just did the Super Broly movie. Did you have any different approach to it after so long? Did you think about it a different way? I know sometimes with the character being a little bit different than he was originally. Did you go into it? Did it feel like riding a bike, or was it, something
Well,
really?
actually, I'm very pleased to report, Jay, that even though I was always really proud to play Broly because Dragon Ball was such a big deal, and just to get to be a part of the Dragon Ball universe was a privilege. But as we all know, Broly didn't have much depth.
Yes.
He wasn't a character of deep philosophical thoughts and
Right.
and deep introspection. So even though I loved playing the character, he was mostly just a screaming, killing machine.
Right.
When the new movie came out, somebody at Funimation, Justin Cook, called me and he said, "Okay, dude, guess what, man? There's a new Broly movie, and this is a reimagining of the character. This is actually Toriyama's vision for the character, who was the creator of Dragon Ball, of course. Apparently, he had nothing to do with the original Broly movie.
Right. I think I heard that. Yeah.
So this Dragon Ball Super Broly movie was presumably his vision for the character. When I sat down and watched it for the first time with Justin in his office, I was so excited because lo and behold, they actually gave him a backstory. They actually gave you a little more background as to why the character is the way he is, his abuse from his father, almost like a Frankenstein's monster kind of a character, where you actually feel bad for the monster because he just doesn't even understand how he's been manipulated and controlled, and he's fighting because his dad says, kill that person, as opposed to just innocently following his dad's instructions and having that collar if he didn't obey. And I was really excited about the new Broly. I was glad that they gave him a little more backstory and helped the audience feel a little bit more for him, as opposed to, oh, he's destroying planets and he wants to kill everybody and Kakarot, Kakarot, Kakarot. He just had so much more substance than the original Broly.
Right.
And when Justin told me, you've probably heard the stories about screaming Kakarot and how hard it was on my voice. Justin said, because it is a different Broly, you don't need to push your voice as low as you did before. You don't have to make him sound as low and dark and menacing as you did in the previous movies and video games. And I was like, thank you, Lord in heaven. Although, having said that, it's important to point out that he had 23 speaking lines and 500 fighting reactions and sounds.
Oh, I bet.
So the 23 speaking lines were good speaking lines, but we finished those all before lunch the first day. And then we spent the whole rest of the week recording all the fighting stuff.
Wow. Yeah. That actually kind of leads me to my next question. When it comes to, doing all the vocal work, what are your tactics to preventing vocal strain and keeping your voice healthy? I know as singers, we are always looking into that, and you're a singer as well. And what are some things? How can you prevent?
Are you a singer?
We both, yeah, we both are singers.
What? Give me a little something. Come on.
What do we have?
I'm switching the interview. I'm switching the interview right now. I want to hear some singing. What do you guys sing together?
We
haven't recently. It's been a lot of our own solo kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But
how about Beauty and the Beast? That's a good male-female duet.
That's a duet? Oh, yeah, Ariana Grande did it. How about this, Vic? We'll send you one of our duets after this.
We do. We have a really great one.
I want to hear something right now.
I got it.
Trisha, hit me with something. Go ahead.
I got you.
Wow, oh my gosh. Okay, this interview's over because it's just downhill from there. I mean,
no.
Wow. Oh my gosh, Jay, I hate you so much. You know why?
Why is that?
Because I used to have one of those clear, high tenor voices, and anime did this to me. In fact, dare I say Broly.
Broly.
The yelling, screaming, chesty, gritty, ripping your vocal cords apart to sell the believability of a line. I used to sound like that, bro. Wow, you guys, how beautiful. How beautiful. Oh my gosh.
Well, thank you.
Aww.
Yeah, I mean, and yeah, I've heard your voice. It's fantastic. I get jealous.
You're very kind. You're very kind. You said, what are some of my tactics?
Yeah.
Well, here's the tactic. Don't go in the studio. Don't even do it. That's one tactic. Of course, that's not an option. But I've never been really good, honestly, at figuring out how to do this. My whole career, I just, I go in there and just leave it all on the floor. You know what I mean? I've always heard people say, I've heard different voice actors say, oh, there are methods where you can yell and scream without hurting your voice in the least. And I'm like, yeah, right. I'd love to hear that. Because whenever I hear somebody do that, they don't sound fully into it. They don't sound like they're getting their arm ripped off.
Right.
Or losing their brother's body, in a transmutation gone bad.
I do know. That was so specific, but I got you.
Yeah. The actor in me has always wanted to give every ounce I have, no matter how big or small the role. And I have left the studio many times just completely gone vocally shot. Like I said, I used to have that beautiful, clear, soaring tenor voice, and it's gone, and I think it's gone for good. And I just think it's just an unfortunate byproduct of screaming and fighting and doing all that for hundreds of characters for 20 years.
Right.
As far as any like practices or rituals, lots of water. I mean, that kind of, I think that's probably self-evident, but lots of water. Warm up. And I know a couple of singers that like to eat potato chips and stuff that's greasy and oily to help lubricate the vocal cords a little bit. I've never done that. I don't know if it really works, but
Yeah,
I
I've heard
wish I had.
potato chips and Coke, like a
Yeah.
Coca-Cola.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? I used to, in the morning when I would go into the studio to record in the morning, I'd make myself a cup of coffee, right? And nice hot warm liquid. And then I learned shortly after that you don't want to drink coffee or tea because the caffeine dries your throat out. It actually does just the opposite. I mean, the warm liquid feels good, but then it dries your
Right.
vocal cords. So when I would get to Funimation or whatever studio I was working at, if I would go in the morning, I would go to the kitchen area and I would just fill up a styrofoam cup with hot water.
Oh, okay.
So I wouldn't put a tea bag in it. I wouldn't make coffee. I wouldn't put any cream in it, nothing, just nice, warm or hot water.
Wonderful.
I love
Yeah.
Yeah,
that.
that's sounds like it goes with singing as well. From what I've had experience, I think it's about the same deal. You don't want to dry yourself out.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, honestly, I don't even know if I believe that there is a way that you can sound like you're screaming in terror or in pain and make it sound believable without really going for it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Some people think there is, and if they can do it, God bless them. But I'm not heard anybody that really sounds convincing and believable without doing a little bit of damage.
I feel like I just throw that all out the window anyway, like kind of like you said. Once I know I have to start screaming,
when I went in to do Broly, the first Broly, when I went in to do the first Broly movie, I had no idea what I was getting myself into. I didn't understand what Dragon Ball was, that it was just screaming, fighting, powering up all the time. And by the end of the first day, I was shot and I was kind of scared because I just went in there and let it rip. I just did what I needed to do to make it sound believable. And yeah, I don't, if there is a magic method, I haven't learned it. Just put it that way.
Well, that's okay because it all turns out great.
I was going to say, it doesn't seem like you need to know it. You seem to be doing just fine.
Well, it's funny. Thank you, by the way. It's funny you should say that because you know what? I got an email just the other day. Oh, look, there's one from you asking me where I am.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
I got an email just the other day from a fan, and it said something like, where is it? I'm trying to find it. It said something like, you always, every character I've ever heard you play, you always sound more invested in it than most other voice actors. I feel your intention, your honesty, your intensity. And I mean, that meant the world to me because I want to try to do that. I wonder if I was trying to see if I could see it. I can't find it, but it was really gratifying because I've seen some voice actors who go into the studio and they literally sit down in a chair with the mic in front of them, reading a newspaper or a magazine. And then when it comes time to do their line, they just go like, blah, 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 blah. and go back to reading their magazine. They don't seem invested at all. You guys, I've never sat down. Of
I
the
was going to say,
thousands
you
of
take
recording
all the
sessions
energy.
I've done, yeah, of the thousands of recording sessions I've done, I've never sat down while recording, because I want to be up and in it, and focus all your energy, not be plopped down, chilling
Right.
in a comfy chair. So it really means a lot when fans have told me, I really feel like, you put all of your passion and your intensity into the roles you do, no matter how big or small, because I sure try
Right.
to.
Yeah, and I mean, I feel like I hear that in your voice acting, and also I think some people feel like just because you aren't being shown, your vulnerability isn't there. But I feel like you almost have to be more vulnerable with your voice when you're not being seen. You have to
You're
convey that
absolutely
so
right.
much stronger.
You are absolutely right. Absolutely right.
Yeah,
You have to compensate for the fact that somebody can't see your face, or or see your body language, or any of the nonverbal ways you communicate a character. So in a way, yeah, I think you're right.
wonderful. Well, we have one more question for you. This
Okay.
one is actually a fan question that
I mean, all of these were fan questions.
yes, but this one comes from someone who's not in the room, because you have done some live action stuff as well, and there is one person that I know who is a massive OG Star Trek fan.
Oh yeah.
That is my own mom, Debbie, and I had
I
her
love it.
come up with a
I love
question. And she sent this into me saying, I'm a huge fan of Star Trek Continues. As a fan of the original Star Trek Continues really preserved the integrity of the original, including the music, effects, set design, etc. While I wholeheartedly agree with the choices made, were you ever tempted to update the technology to reflect the advances that had been made today?
First of all, I hope you are not offended when I tell you I love your mom.
I'm not, no.
You don't have to protect her from me. I won't be stalking her, but I do love and appreciate that she enjoyed our series very much.
Oh, you won't have to. After she hears this, she'll be stalking you. Vic loves me.
I love it. The short answer, what was her name again?
Debbie.
Debbie. The short answer, Debbie, is no. It didn't occur to us to update the effects or the technology, because I think the original series of Star Trek was perfect, and you don't fix it if it ain't broke. I know people that have built replicas of the sets, and they'll put LCD computer monitors in the bridge. Well, that's really cute and all, but that's not the original series. And even more so, Deb, Star Trek was about story. The most important thing about Star Trek, the reason Star Trek has thrived for 60 years, is not because of the effects or the technology or the sets or any of that. It's because of the storytelling. Because the original series took on tough topics, social questions, moral dilemmas, ethical quandaries, questions that are still valid today because they're part of the human condition. And we have the same challenges today that they had 60 years ago. So my desire, Deb, was to make it so that people felt like they were watching a direct, instant continuation of the original series of Star Trek. Had it not been canceled, had it just continued and finished the 5-year mission, this is what you would have seen. So no, we never thought about upping the tech or revising it or somehow modifying it into what we're capable of now. In fact, I will tell you that if you watch our series and you see our ship fly by the screen, it looks like a model because it was intended to look like a plastic model like the original series. The original series had a miniature that they shot against a blue screen. It was a physical model. And I literally instructed our special effects guy to make it look as much like an actual tangible miniature as he possibly could, because that's part of the charm of Star Trek. And the Christmas lights behind the, the light bulbs behind the bridge displays and that kind of stuff is part of the charm of that series. So again, if it worked for the original, if it's good enough for the original series of Star Trek, it was good enough for us.
Wonderful.
I love that.
Yeah, and yet again, just showing off your sincerity. Just love just how sincere you take everything, whether it's Star Trek or your voice acting or anything like that. It's great to see the passion, and just you explaining that is what everybody hopes for.
Mhm.
Well, you're very kind. Thank you for that. Thank you. Now, where are you guys located?
Iowa.
We're in Iowa. Yeah.
Ah, okay.
We're just up north.
Who was I talking to the other day? In Iowa. Oh my gosh, I think it may have been. I do a live stream on Twitch every Tuesday night. And last night, every Tuesday night, I'll bring 4 or 5 fans in, one after the other, to FaceTime. And, people will call in, and then I'll have a list of like 25 people that have called in, and I'll pick somebody and they'll come on screen and we'll talk and whatever. And last night I picked a girl, Erica Katz. Anyway, and she works at a florist at a flower store in Iowa. And I was telling her, I'd sure love to get out there and meet the fans out in Iowa. And one of the kids in the chat room, there's a chat going on the side the whole time. And somebody wrote, "Oh my gosh, Erica should host a signing event at her flower shop."
Oh my gosh.
I would go.
Yeah, me too.
Let me just offer you guys the same thing. If there is a comic book store or a collectible store near you,
there is.
Talk to them about having me come out and do an autograph signing. I don't even know if I've ever been to Iowa. And if I have, it's been a very, very long time. Rather than wait for conventions to get going again, and then, hope and pray that a convention might have me, let's just take the ball into our own hands.
Heck yeah.
And
Totally.
contact a store owner that would like to generate some business at his place. And I would love to come out and meet you guys in person and all the other people out in that area that may be familiar with my work. I would love to do that.
That'd be great.
Yeah, we'd love that. Jay is a comic book guy, so he's a frequent flyer of a store here called Mayhem. So we will definitely be in touch for sure. That would be amazing.
Yeah, talk to Mayhem.
I know you have a lot of fans here, and also, it's the birthplace of Captain Kirk. So
Riverside, that's right.
Yeah,
it's like 10 miles away.
Yeah,
something pretty close. Yeah.
See, you have to come out here.
Do something in Riverside, and we could be a Star Trek and anime thing.
Oh my gosh, that would be huge.
Oh my gosh, if I were signing in Riverside, Iowa, at the birthplace, oh my gosh, that would be awesome. That would be awesome.
All right, Vic, we have about 2 minutes left. Is there anything that we should look for coming up from you? Any conventions you're going to be at, or anything on IMDb that you're looking forward to getting started on?
Thank you for asking, Trish. Thank you.
Yeah.
This weekend, I'll be at Anime Tokyo in San Antonio this Saturday. Next weekend, the following weekend, I'm going to be at the Garden State Comic Fest in New Jersey. You can look that up online. And then the following weekend, I'm going to be at this event in Salt Lake City. I don't have the specifics on the name of the store, but I will be tweeting about that. I just tweeted a little video. Do you guys follow me on Twitter?
I do.
I don't have Twitter, but
well, aren't you the lucky one? I wish I didn't have to deal with it, but unfortunately, it's necessary. But I tweeted a video yesterday talking about the San Antonio signing this weekend. And then at the very beginning of next week, I'm going to tweet a video about the New Jersey Comic Fest. And then at the beginning of the next week, I'll tweet about the Salt Lake City. I'm also going to be at Anime Matsuri in Houston, which is going to be huge. I'm going to be at UltraCon in West Palm Beach. I'm going to be at a show in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina coming up. I'm going to be at Bubbafest, which is a convention I think is going to be in the Tennessee, Kentucky area. But I'll be posting all of those things on Twitter. And you can also, you and your listeners and followers can check out www.risembulrangers.com. That's my fan club online. They'll have all of the information about those appearances as well there.
Wonderful.
Perfect. And we will have one coming from you in Iowa.
Well, that would be great. I was also just going to say, I just finished a couple of audiobooks that are being very well received on Audible. One is called In Plain Sight by Dan Willis. The other one that I just finished more recently is called The Crimson Spark by William Hastings. And they're really, really great books. I encourage you guys, your followers, to check them out.
Wonderful. That's great.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you again so much for joining this, and hopefully we'll get to talk to you pretty soon.
My sincere pleasure. And I hope I get to see you guys in person. I want to hear those beautiful voices in person.
We'll practice a song and we'll sing it to you.
Yes.
Yes, please.
Alrighty. Thank you so much, Vic. Really appreciate it.
Thank you guys.
Appreciate you taking the time out of your day. It's been great.
Mm-hmm. And for anybody watching, we will put all of the links that Vic was speaking about below in the, not the comment section.
The description.
Thank you. In the description below. Thank you guys for watching.
Thank you. And StarTrekContinues.com. Throw that down there just for Deb. Just for Deb.
Exactly.
All right. Have a good day, Vic.
Yes.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much.